Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Hey guys, 3D Crypto here. Hope everyone's doing well. And guys, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Tron blockchain and more specifically the benefits of transacting on the blockchain and how to maximize the benefits of using the Tron blockchain. So if we have a quick look at CoinMarketCap and look at cryptocurrency in general, all the markets are recovering from that flash crash we had a few weeks ago. If you scroll down to position number 25 on CoinMarketCap, there you can see the Tron token. It's currently just trading at over 7 cents per Tron, and the market cap fluctuates all the time. So you can probably see Tron anywhere between the 25th ranking all the way up to the 15th, sometimes even the 12th number ranked on CoinMarketCap, and that's purely down to just the fluctuations you get in cryptocurrency and the activities on these blockchains. And if you look at the Tron price, you can see obviously the price was the high was something like 12 cents before the flash crash, and then we had this big crash where Bitcoin touched almost $30,000 at the bottom, and obviously Tron reflected that, and we were trading around about just under 6 cents. It was about 5 cents, 5.5 cents, and now we have recovered and we're back up to about the 7 cent mark, which is good, which is positive, which shows the market is recovering. And as a whole, as you can see, the markets have recovered and Bitcoin is back to about that $40,000 mark, not at the all-time high of about 60,000, but we're getting there. So the point of today's video, guys, is basically to show you how you guys can maximize anything you do on the Tron blockchain. So that is things like transacting with smart contracts, whether it be things like bankroll flow, UME, pretty much anything you do on the Tron side takes energy when you basically interact with a smart contract of any kind. So there's two things which make the Tron blockchain very kind of different from any other blockchain. So, for example, Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, when you use any type of transaction, when you send that token, whether it be Ethereum or Binance Coin, or you interact with a smart contract on the Binance chain, the Binance Smart Chain, or Ethereum chain, you have to pay gas. Gas is basically energy fees, and that is taken from the user pushing the transaction. So the guy or the girl or the person sending the Ethereum will pay a small amount of Ethereum to facilitate that transaction, and that fee goes to the miners. Same way where you interact with a contract, a smart contract on the Binance Smart Chain or the Ethereum blockchain. So, for example, if you're using Uniswap, you would go ahead and interact with this contract, and you would basically go ahead and give a little bit of Ethereum or Binance coin to facilitate the transaction. And as we all know, the more network activity on a blockchain, the higher the price of a certain asset, and all of a sudden these transaction fees go crazy. If you look at Ethereum at the moment, just interacting on anything like Uniswap or the balancer side, it's costing $70, $80, $100 to interact with. This is where the Tron blockchain is very different. The Tron blockchain, they also implement this gas fee, and you can use gas fee normally where you basically go ahead, do a transaction, and what will happen is a small amount of Tron is going to be used to facilitate the transaction. And this used to be a very small amount, but the Tron Foundation increased the amount of Tron that will be required for a transaction. I think they increased it by 400%, and the thinking behind that was to lock up more Tron. When I say lock up more Tron, this is where the Tron blockchain is very different. What you can do is you can freeze your Tron to yield you energy and bandwidth. So their thinking was, the Tron Foundation's thinking was, let's increase the fees to transact so people don't waste Tron or they don't spend Tron. Instead, they just freeze it, they lock it up, and in turn, it basically reduces the supply. If you reduce the supply for something, common sense and markets dictate that the price should go up. And it has happened like that to an extent. We've had a crypto boom, and the Tron fees going up the Tron gas fees going up has led to more people freezing Tron and ultimately what that's led to is the price going up. So I'm going to go through these different terminologies and explain the differences between energy and bandwidth. So to put it very simply, energy is used to interact with any contract on the Tron blockchain. Any smart contracts, as I mentioned, if you're going to interact with bankroll flow, with any contract on UME, anything to do on the Tron blockchain, for example, like Wink or anything you can do on the Tron blockchain requires some sort of energy. Bandwidth, on the other hand, is slightly different. Bandwidth is a feature of the Tron blockchain, and that's primarily used for sending Tron. So we're going to focus more on the energy because that is what costs more. For example, if you use Bankroll Flow or UME or one of these smart contracts, primarily you will see something like a claim or a role or any type of interaction with this contract can cost in excess of 200,000 energy. So 200,000 energy. So if I go to tronstation.io and look at the calculator and type in 200,000 energy. Oh, let me in the energy box. 200, 1, 2, 3. Right. So to perform that transaction will cost me 28 Tron. So if I had no energy frozen, it would cost me 28 Tron. And as we all know, 28 Tron at 7 cents, you're looking at about $2 for a transaction. And a lot of these transactions people are doing multiple times a day, which kind of makes it very difficult to work on the Tron blockchain using certain strategies, which is frequent transactions. So if you wanted to save on Tron, what you would do is you would go ahead and freeze Tron. So if I was to freeze that same 28 Tron, that would yield me 510 energy. So obviously we can see that freezing the same amount of Tron doesn't yield the same amount of energy. And the reason for that is the whole point of the Tron Foundation implementing this freeze function is for people to lock up as much Tron as possible to limit the amount of supply in the marketplace. So to get the same amount of energy, which is 200,000, you would need to freeze just under 11,000 Tron. So if you were to freeze 11,000 Tron, that would give you 200,000 energy, and that would mean you could probably do 2 or 3 transactions on a daily basis, which is the goal. So the goal is to freeze as much as Tron possible and to get energy. And ultimately, if you freeze enough Tron, if you were to freeze, for example, 50,000 Tron, that Tron will always belong to you. That is yours forever. No one else can get it. When you freeze Tron, the only thing is for the first 3 days, you won't be able to access it. That's the only caveat. Apart from that, the Tron's yours. You can unfreeze it whenever you want. And once you've unfrozen it, you can do whatever you want with it. So if you were to freeze 50,000 Tron, you will yield yourself 9 million energy, just over 9 million energy. And that is enough to perform as many transactions as you want in a day within limits. So basically you could do a lot of transactions. So you can claim and roll, for example, on bankroll flow to increase the amount of passive income you're getting and to increase your ROI rates. The same with UME. You can go on gambling dApps. You can do whatever you want on the Tron blockchain, and that will be totally free of charge. So with 9 million Tron energy, you could probably do enough transactions, probably maybe 20 or 30 transactions, maybe even 40 transactions, depending on how energy efficient these contracts are. And you've got to think each time you're going to go ahead and do that, what's going to be saving? You're going to be saving Tron. So let's have a look. If you were to use that same energy, so 9 million energy, you've just saved yourself 1,260 Tron. 1,260 Tron is literally about $90. That's what you've saved just for freezing that Tron, which is amazing in my opinion. What this blockchain brings is potentially to have a free ecosystem where you can transact on this blockchain and not have to worry about paying energy Tron. You don't have to worry about losing anything. And that is great. So the way you go ahead and get energy is you'll go basically to TronLink Pro, and you click freeze. When you click freeze, you're going to be shown this page. Basically, this page shows your resources, and it shows you your total TRX frozen. So my account, I've currently frozen 10,000 Tron, and with 10,000 Tron, I've obtained 182,174 energy. So there's two ways, as I mentioned, you can go ahead and get energy. You can either rent energy or obtain energy. Obtain is when you freeze it, and rent is when you go to a site like Token Goodies or Tron Lending, and you basically go ahead and rent energy. It is efficient. So, for example, if you wanted if you done 900 Tron, and basically what you get is 100k energy for a day for 8 Tron. And this, you can keep doing this, but in the day, you never own this energy. So in my opinion, this is not a very efficient way of obtaining energy. The best way that I know of obtaining energy is to directly freeze it. So you go ahead and press obtain on your resources. You'll say, do you want Tron Power or bandwidth? You hit the arrow button. You want Tron Power and energy, because that is what is more commonly used as opposed to bandwidth. How much do you want to freeze? I want to freeze 500 Tron. You hit I confirm to freeze 500 Tron for at least 72 hours. The key point here is that after 3 days, you can do whatever you want with your energy. You can take it back out. You can unfreeze it. You never ever have to kind of give this Tron away. It's yours forever. Just make sure the recipient address is yours. You can freeze on other people's behalf, so you can put someone else's address in there, but 99% of the time you're freezing to your own account. Once you hit freeze, there will be a confirmation. You click, you press OK, and then you can see that once you refresh back to your resources page, you can see that the total TRX frozen is 10,500 and your total energy obtained is 191,273. And then if you go back to your asset page, you can see currently that's my resources. This recharges every 24 hours. So every 24 hours, this bar will reach its maximum if you don't use any of the energy. So it automatically replenishes itself on a 24-hour basis. So now you have this energy, you can go ahead and do some very cool things. You can go and interact on the smart contracts free of charge and basically obtain free, like, zero transaction costs. Now, one other thing with freezing, which is very, very interesting, is voting. So there's a button here that says votes. So once you click votes, you're going to be sent over to a page, the voting page. And this is basically where you vote for super representatives. Super representatives are nodes on the Tron blockchain which secure the network. So you've got like a proof of stake, proof of work. And what you do is you basically, for every 1 Tron you freeze, you get 1 voting power. And that voting power you can put to any of these super representatives. And each super representative has their own kind of plan, their own distribution, and everything. So, for example, let's just look at Binance staking. Obviously, they're going to have the most Tron because anyone that has Tron in their Binance spot wallet is going to give it to Binance, and Binance will go ahead and freeze a portion of it. And so they currently have 34.8% of the total Tron votes. They're the current rank number 1. They've got a lot of votes, something in excess of like, I don't know, 10 billion votes or something, or 100 billion, 100 million, sorry. Their voting share ratio is that 80% of all the rewards they receive. So for being a super representative node, you receive rewards, and those rewards can be redistributed back to voters. So for Binance, for example, gives 80% of the reward they receive from the Tron blockchain, from the Tron Foundation, back to their people that have voted for them. So with Binance, it's slightly different because you're on exchange. It's not automatic. You're not directly freezing to Binance. Binance is doing it on your behalf, so the distribution might be slightly different. What I want to talk about is a super representative, which only kind of became a node less than a month ago, and already they are number 69 on the on the charts, and that's Alt E. And if I go down and have a look at how many super representatives there are in total, so in total there are 329 super representatives, and this super representative only became a super representative less than a month ago, and already they have overtaken some very established super representatives. Like if you look at KuCoin, you've got Bankroll Network, Tron Europe, and that's Alt E. Alt E is already at number 69. You can see already there's 500,000 votes they have. They've got 500,000 votes, and they look to distribute 80% of all rewards back to the people that voted for them. How you can see that is if you go back to your main page, you can see Tron Power. So Tron Power equates to Tron votes. And for every vote that I gave to Alt E, so if I go back here to Alt E and I go to voting and I go to number 69, I've given them 9,000 votes. So 9,000 votes, and that basically has given me 7 Tron in rewards. That's totally free of charge. So Tron Power is used for voting, and then the users gain Tron Power through freezing. And then in return, if you vote for a super representative, you get rewards back. So I'm voting for Alt E. So I'm going to go ahead and put my maximum voting in there. So I've got, if I go to the top, I've got total 10,000, and available I've got another 1,000 that I can vote for them. It should be 1,500, so let me refresh this, because obviously I just froze another 1,500. If I go to voting now, available, I've got 1,500 votes that I can still give. So if I can just click this and look, 10,500. That's my vote. Then I hit voting. It will confirm on the blockchain. It will say thanks for voting. Your votes are successfully submitted. And then it goes the next voting cycle. When it starts, my votes will take effect. So the voting cycle, there's a few voting cycles per day. The next one starts in 49 minutes. So in 49 minutes, my votes will be added to Alt E, and Alt E will start going up the rankings. Obviously, as a new super representative, Alt E is still working on building their position, but they've done a good job getting up to number 69. And if you click on team information, you can look at the Alt E website and look at everything they are trying to do. They are dedicated to DeFi and community through learning, and they want to be your DeFi representative, because what Alt E is working towards in conjunction with Atlantis DeFi, ADA banking, is that they want to build a traditional bank on the Tron blockchain. But the main thing is they want to create an ecosystem which is totally free of any transaction fees. That's it. The only requirement would be is to vote and freeze energy. That's the only requirement. So you wouldn't have to pay to transact. All you would have to do is freeze some energy. That's all you would have to do. You have to obtain some energy, and then once you've obtained the energy, you get some Tron Power. When you get that Tron Power, they want you to go ahead and vote for Alt E. That's it. And then once you go ahead, and because this ecosystem is still being developed, it is being developed very seriously. There is a whole infrastructure behind ADA banking and Atlantis DeFi. And it's going to be set up like a traditional bank. There will be business accounts, current accounts, high yield savings accounts, lots of smart contracts. So obviously, to interact with something like this, it would be very energy intensive. What ALTE is trying to do is become almost like the power grid for this new ecosystem, and it's going to go ahead and form contracts where when people try interacting with the contracts, it's not going to use the end user's energy or Tron. It will use the energy within the ALTE power system, the ALTE super representative, and that will facilitate all these transactions. I know it's a bit tricky to get your head over, but the way I kind of look at it to get my head around this is ADA is going to be an ecosystem like a traditional bank, and Alt E is going to be kind of like the battery power for it. It's going to go ahead and facilitate all the transactions, so anyone interacting within this ecosystem will have free transactions. So that's something the Binance Smart Chain can't offer. That's something the Ethereum chain cannot offer. Only the Tron blockchain powered by Alt E will offer this feature, free transactions. And not only is it free transactions, but through voting and earning Tron Power, you will also get rewards in Tron sent back to you. So obviously, the more Tron you freeze, the more energy you get. The more energy you get, the more votes you get. The more votes you get, the more rewards you get. And the whole point about ALTE is that 80% of the rewards that they get will go back to the voter, but the 20% is going to go ahead to facilitate the building of this infrastructure for ADA. And you can follow the building of the structure on Telegram. So I will leave a link down below to the Flow Society Telegram chat. And this is the chat room, this is the Telegram group where you've got people coming together to build this ecosystem. And there's some serious people involved in this project. So if you want to know more about the project, join the Flow Society Telegram chat, because that is where all the chat is regarding building this infrastructure. And there's lots of knowledgeable folk there, the devs are there, the people that are going to build this, the team behind it are going to go through this step by step. I'm going to do more follow-up videos on this as well, showing the infrastructure being built. But the first step in that is to get as many votes as we can for ALTE. So number one, you may already have frozen some energy, but not been aware that you can vote for people. So vote for ALTE. Vote for ALTE, because that is what is going to power the ADA ecosystem. So a vote for ALTE is a vote for ADA. So you are basically, just by voting for ALTE, you're helping build this ecosystem, because all the energy ALTE is going to be yielding and putting together, they're going to give it back to ADA and say, yeah, go ahead, make these smart contracts, but make these smart contracts free for the end user. Let them not pay any energy from their own pocket or Tron from their own pocket. Let them use the energy that we're going to pump into these contracts, which I think, in my opinion, it's an amazing concept. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this develops. So guys, the kind of main aim for this video was to go ahead and show you guys how to go ahead and freeze energy, number one, and number two, how to go ahead and vote, and why a vote for ALTE is a very, very positive thing, because they're not just a super representative just to go ahead and be there for the sake of it to secure the network. They've actually got a plan behind what they're doing. So I'll do further videos on this, on how to basically freeze energy on mobile wallets like the Clever app and apps on mobile devices. So I'll do follow-up videos on this, and also do follow-up videos on how the ADA ecosystem is progressing through its build. And obviously once it launches and everything, I'll basically cover the whole thing. But for the time being, the best thing you guys can do is go ahead and join the Flow Society Telegram. I'll leave a link down below. That's where you'll get the latest information regarding ALTE and the ADA Atlantis DeFi banking system and how it's progressing through its build. So guys, that was it. I hope this video was informative, primarily just to show you guys the power of the Tron blockchain and how simply by freezing Tron, you can have free transactions throughout the Tron network. But more importantly, if you freeze your Tron and vote for ALTE, you are going to be helping them build this DeFi bank. And the key thing with this DeFi bank is it will be a free bank, a free ecosystem to interact with. Nothing else like this will exist on the Tron blockchain. This will be the first of its kind. So guys, as I mentioned, I will be keeping you up to date. So please do go ahead and smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified of my latest content as and when it is released. Guys, if you've got any questions or comments about the Tron blockchain or freezing Tron energy or voting, please do leave them down below. Or if you've got questions or comments about the ADA banking system or ALTE, then please do go ahead and join the Flow Society Telegram chat. If you have any questions or comments for me, please do hit me up on any of my social media platforms or send me an email, and I'll be happy to kind of reply and help you guys out in any way. Please do check out my previous videos, and obviously, as I said, I will be keeping you updated with the whole ADA ecosystem and ALTE as we go along. It's a ecosystem that's going to be built over time, so it's not going to just come out in like 5 days and it's a ecosystem and it's gone. There is real life application behind this, and I will explain more as it's being developed and built. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. As I always say, you work hard for your crypto, make that crypto work hard for you. Until my next video, take care.